This episode is brought to you courtesy of one of our new favorite podcasts, Chatting Tracks. More about them a little later in the show. Welcome back to another episode of 1980s Now, a weekly examination of the importance of 1980s pop culture and its influence today. My name is Will, and joining me, as always, are my friends and co-hosts, Kat and John. Hey, guys.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
I'm glad that you guys decided to stay on.
I did.
The live audience is bailing.
At least the two of us.
Yes.
These are the eyeballs you're looking for. Yes.
Speaking of the live audience, hello, everybody out there watching us live right now on YouTube and or Facebook, possibly both at the same time.
Hi, friends.
Hey, Ted. Hey, John. Jahan. Let's see. Hey, Marcus. That's all I see so far. If you're on there, say hello so we know you're there. Otherwise, that's why we're not calling you out, because we don't know you're there. It's kind of
right.
It allows people to be able to just lurk. That's kind of cool.
We would love to put you on blast, but you don't allow us to.
Yeah.
The kids say that on blast.
Marcus says, entertain me, podcast monkey. All right, Marcus, we're going to do that. And I'm going to tell you how we're going to do that. There you go. I guess he was the monkey. That's good. All right. Hey, and I'm going to tell you how we're going to do that today with regard to 1980s pop culture. Check this out. On today's show, we're going to review current media related to 1980s stuff. You know, the things that we grew up on, including Macaulay Culkin's got a pitch for a Home Alone sequel. The 1990 film that we grew up watching, of course. So start there, but it also raises a question for me, or it did. Was Home Alone, and we'll talk about this, was Home Alone the first movie to feature a hero trying to defend their house or location by setting up elaborate traps? And the answer is that I found is sort of, and we'll talk about that. Hey, there was a search your attics and all the crawl spaces in your home because there was $1 million Superman found in someone's attic. Plus, I want to tell you about a bonus item that was found in an attic in the 1980s that was also worth a lot of money. So search those attics. And this other item I'm going to tell you about, holy shit. It's mind-boggling to me.
I searched my attic and all I found was a dead squirrel.
Okay, well, right. No. But when was it dead? And where did it come from? And
I've got to get it graded. I don't know.
How well preserved is it?
Does it have? Is it dog-eared? It might be dog-eared.
It's a vintage 1930. It's squirrel-eared, actually.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, and I've got a plug for my new favorite comic book. Speaking of comic books, that I'll mention later. Hey, we're going to talk about how Cheap Tricks at Budokan wasn't, which is a audio file. I find this fascinating.
Yes.
And then we're going to wrap up talking about the Working Girl, the musical, which is something that's being developed right now in La Jolla, at the La Jolla Playhouse, with the hopes of coming to Broadway. And then finally, we're going to talk about the Masters of the Universe movie coming up, because the star of it, Nicholas Galitzine, just said that we're going to get a modern He-Man. Talk about what that means. And I could already hear people saying, no, we don't want that.
Yes.
I don't know if I do or not.
I'll wait and see.
But yeah, all right. All right. Hey, no longer, you don't need to wait any longer, John. Let's get started. Okay. Look, it's the Christmas season. It is upon us. It is officially December, and I'll spend the whole month, October, celebrating Halloween by watching horror movies and getting in that sort of spirit. Christmas, it's similar. Have I watched any Christmas movies yet? I've watched part of Christmas movies. I haven't finished any yet.
I have a problem with the Christmas season. I find myself waiting until like the week of Christmas or Christmas Eve to watch Christmas movies. And then I'm so backlogged, I only get to like 2 or 3. I'm never in the mood. Although this is one of the shortest Christmas seasons on record in recent memory, because Thanksgiving was like the 29th or something. It was right at the end.
Yeah.
We have
just a little bit
like
later.
3.5 weeks to Christmas, not like 4 or 5. So it's going to be here fast. Yeah. I got to hurry and watch shows.
There was only one year that we were really good at it. We set out a list and we knocked off a lot of them. But you're right. We had that happen too. We're like, holy shit, remember that list we made? And then we watched like 3 movies one day, and then that was it.
You know, like a spreadsheet of like top tier movies and
sort of.
mid-tier.
Yeah. It was on the fridge, I think. We've done this thing periodically. We put movies we want to watch somewhere out in the open. So whenever we're like, what should we watch? The sheet that we already worked out.
It's good thinking.
Otherwise, you watch nothing.
I think I will do that.
Anyway, on our perennial holiday watch list are the first two Home Alone films starring Macaulay Culkin. And so I'm not sure how I feel about this pitch. But per Variety, Macaulay Culkin is open to a Home Alone sequel, and he's got an idea for one. Hey, guess what? By the way, Home Alone turns 35 this year because it was released in 1990. At that time, it earned a whopping $476 million, which, you know, without adjusted for inflation, wow. Today, a film making that would be considered a blockbuster. So by 1990 standards, certainly.
This has been 35 years? Wow.
Right? Isn't that right? Yeah. 2025.
Yeah. No.
I think so. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My streak is alive. I've gone 35 years and still haven't seen it.
No. Is this another one? Are you shitting on us?
You haven't seen Home Alone?
No. I haven't seen Home Alone. No. It's one of those like,
that.
I know what happens because you can't not know what happens.
Sure.
Right.
You know, kid, I think they go on a vacation and they accidentally forget him at home and then there's robbers trying to get in his house and he does all these crazy traps and crap. I mean, I know enough.
Have you seen just pieces of it?
No, never seen it.
Nothing.
No, well, just like clips on a clip show or something. And at no point did I like start watching and stop. And it's not like I'm avoiding it. It's just, I don't feel like I need to see it because I can't think I know what happens in it.
You do know what happens, but don't you think you're missing out on the nuanced moments in there? Like,
are there nuanced moments in that slapstick thing?
It's a funny movie. It's a funny movie.
Okay.
I find it to be funny.
I feel like everything can be reduced, John, to this idea that I know what happens, so therefore I'll avoid this.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a general sense of the outcome, because you don't, like Cal points out, you don't know the details. You have a general feeling or vibe. But I'm going to tell you so right now, John, at the end of this life, we all die. So fucking why bother anything? It's this nihilistic sort of, approach, I think.
No, wait, I would argue it's more than that. Like,
okay.
So I was this way with Blade Runner for a long time.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen Blade Runner, but I think I heard enough about it from other people that I even knew like story beats.
Okay.
And I didn't watch it in like 5 years ago. I finally watched Blade Runner for the first time. And I think Home Alone is like that. Like if I watch it, it's just going to flesh out all the things I already know. It's not like I know the end, therefore I don't watch it. It's not like that at all. It's just, I feel like I know what the movie's about.
Like John Candy's in it and you know he's in it, but that doesn't mean you're seeing that performance.
That's a good point.
All right, whatever.
I want to watch this with you. I want to watch all the movies that you refuse to watch with you.
It's not a refusal.
He's never going to do it, Kat.
No, this is not the Goonies. This is just, I'll watch Home Alone. I don't care.
Right.
That's fine.
We got a Clockwork Orange him to get him to watch these movies. So anyway, look, it earned so much money. It was the second highest grossing film of that year. And it earned, get this, 5 sequels. The second of which, as I mentioned, also starred Culkin, and the others, I couldn't tell you what they're about. I think I've seen all of them.
I know she didn't say 4, no 5. Oscars.
No. Well, during the recent stop on his A Nostalgic Night with Macaulay Culkin tour, I don't know what happens. Maybe they show the film and he answers questions.
Wow.
Could be, right? That's kind of a trend happening these days with the celebrities and their films.
You could do that, Kat. An evening with Kat.
Just watch movies.
Sell tickets, start the tour. Whatever you want to talk about. An evening with Kat.
I think it'd be more interesting to be an evening with John and we get you to watch these movies. And everyone watches, you watch them. We can't even see the film. We can't see the screen.
I'll become a patron.
All right, let me tell you about this. I don't want to do this story all night. During a recent stop on his Nostalgic Night with Macaulay Culkin tour, Culkin said he wouldn't be against returning as Kevin McAllister in a Home Alone sequel, although, quote, it would have to be just right, end quote. Well, fortunately, Culkin's thought about this, and he already has a pitch for a sequel that he'd be interested in doing. Per Culkin, here it goes, quote, I kind of had this idea. I'm either a widower or a divorcee. I'm raising a kid and all that stuff. I'm working really hard and I'm not really paying enough attention. And the kid is kind of getting miffed at me. And then I get locked out. My son won't let me in. And he's the one setting the traps for me. For those who haven't seen the film, what Culkin is essentially suggesting is that he would replace the robbers, known as the wet bandits in the first film. And then have to battle to re-enter his home in time for the holidays. He adds, quote, the house is some sort of metaphor for our relationship, end quote, and his character has to get back into his son's heart. Yeah, look, you got me a little bit, but they can't make a whole film out of that.
No, it
35
seems like,
minutes maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his house. Can he just call the police and have them come and let him in his house? My son won't let me in. Smash. Okay, movie's over.
This is how,
John.
This is how they develop the films, right, John? They're like, okay, all right, you're right. You know what? Writer's room, you're right. All right, we got to come up with a reason why there's no cops in the town this day. Let's see.
They're all off for Christmas.
There's a convention. There's an officers' convention across the country.
Perfect. I was thinking Christmas potluck, where someone brought in inadvertently gives salmonella to the entire police department.
Nothing says Christmas like botulism. I think that'll go over really well.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's in Cleveland. They're responding to a balloon emergency somewhere in town.
Could be. Yeah. Retro, nostalgia. Yeah. Look, if you're going to do father and sons, what you could do is partly way through the movie, he gets in, they reunite, and then the real bandits show up, which are the sons of the bandits from the first film.
Now they got to team up.
Father and sons versus fathers and sons or something. Yeah.
The bandits pass down the family business of robbing houses to their children.
Or maybe they want revenge. Maybe Joe Pesci's character died in prison, and this one guy wants revenge. How about that?
Now you got me. Now I'm watching.
Okay.
Now he's hooked.
Now it's a Christmas revenge story.
Marcus has an idea. Or his son is already pissed off and the cops might not help that. Okay, yeah. Or maybe his son pissed the cops off. And so they're like, fuck that kid, I ain't helping him.
Or a locksmith, also possible.
Yeah. Maybe the son already has a rap sheet and they don't want to compound things.
I'm more inclined to agree with Chris Columbus, the film's director, when he said in August that, quote, I think Home Alone really exists not as this timepiece, but it was this very special moment and you really can't recapture that. I think it's a mistake to try and go back and recapture something we did 35 years ago. I think it should be left alone at home. I guess he should have added, but he didn't.
Yeah, well, at best, it's a Netflix holiday thing, right? It's not going to be a blockbuster. You're not going to...
No.
Well, yeah, I can't imagine.
It's interesting because where was Chris Columbus when they made Home Alone 3, 4, and 5?
Maybe they weren't listening.
And 6. Because those movies are terrible. And the last two were straight to, TV or video or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I watched them only because my kid was small and she loved the first one. And so she's like, is there more? And so we ran through all of them. But once we got past 2, I was like, oh, gosh, strap in. But this has got me thinking, Home Alone just generally, as I mentioned earlier, was this the first film to feature our hero making traps to keep out the villains? In the comments here, Marcus suggests One-Eyed Willie in Goonies defended his home with some traps. Yeah, but he's not the hero fighting against the bad. I guess from his perspective, he would be. But he's dead, so he's not fighting for his life and that sort of thing. I think it's a very different circumstance, so I don't agree. Look, I dug into it, and surprisingly, I guess, I couldn't find another film that had this premise much earlier than Home Alone. I would have thought maybe in the 70s, with some... Sure. But the closest I could find actually turned out to be a French film that was released 20 months before Home Alone, called, we call it Deadly Games. It's a 3615 code Père Noël, also known as Deadly Games, when it was released outside of France, I guess. Check this out. The formula of that film, this French film I'm telling you about, is so similar to Home Alone that the director of Deadly Games threatened to sue John Hughes and the producers.
Oops.
Both are set at Christmas. Both find a boy alone at home. And the boys set traps to thwart an enemy that's bent on killing them. But that's, however, where the comparisons end, because while Home Alone is a comedy, its French predecessor is a straight-up horror movie.
Oh.
I see. Yeah.
So I hope they didn't win anything. That seems poor grounds for suing. Like for... You said that they
threatened to. They ultimately
threatened to.
I imagine.
Okay, so they didn't actually go through it. All right.
I would imagine this independent film company didn't think they could really stand a chance coming up against John Hughes and whatever studio backed Home Alone.
Home Alone said, "You want to go, bro? You want to go?" And they backed off.
The studio started setting up traps. Invite them to the office.
Yes.
So I didn't know there'd be homework. So as soon as you said that in the tease, I started trying to think of films where the protagonist is setting traps to thwart the bad guy. Okay. Yeah. And while I couldn't think of any films, I feel like I saw a lot of Looney Tunes where Bugs Bunny was setting traps to keep Elmer Fudd from getting to him. And to a lesser degree, little Roadrunner-y, though not defending his home, defending his life, really, with
Acme.
Yeah, and the Roadrunner would not so much set traps as thumb his nose at the traps that were set.
Yeah.
So really more of a Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd paradigm. Possible because you have his rabbit hole right there. He'd stick the gun in and it would come out behind him in his butt and he'd shoot himself. Crazy things like I don't know how he did it, but that's all I can think of. But that predates what are those 30s, 40s? All Looney Tunes?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a good. You got to feel. You got to flesh it out. Find some real examples. A crow friend in the comments says Swiss Family Robinson had booby traps.
Yeah,
interesting.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, all right. Check that out.
Yeah.
A little more about this French horror movie.
Yes, please.
Because it's a highly regarded film. Folks who love this sort of thing, horror movies in particular, recommend it. Watch it. I came across multiple groups that say they watch it every Christmas as part of their holiday films, like we were talking about.
Really?
But whereas Kevin McAllister is pursued by the wet bandits that we mentioned a moment ago, the young hero of Deadly Games is being hunted by a murderous Santa who may be a sexual predator.
Whoa!
Oh my God!
Wow.
We see this guy who's dressed as Santa do horrible things that I won't mention here. Certainly don't want to spoil it, but it's just disgusting.
Ho ho hee hee.
Oh no!
Oh no!
I don't know why. No idea why John's doing that.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
And while Kevin sets,
I was just reading the cue card that you gave me, Will. I don't know what it means.
John, John. Okay, remember the Trello card? Yeah. And while Kevin's traps, John, you may not know this, but Kevin's traps, he crafts them from toys and household items, whatever he's got,
It's like a bowling ball and iron, some other stuff, right?
Everything. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Household stuff. Sure.
Yeah.
Irons.
The boy in Deadly Games creates, and they have, John, to your point, they have Looney Tunes sort of outcomes. It's slapstick, as you mentioned. It's played.
Right. Well, the bowling ball didn't kill the guy, therefore it's a little fantastic.
Now, it reminds me, Corridor Crew, the VFX guys on YouTube, they made a if the traps were real kind of thing. And
really?
Oh my God, it's rated R. It's very bloody,
decimating. I'm sure. Yeah.
Which brings us to this French film because the young boy defending himself against this Santa makes traps intended to kill him. They're deadly. Anyway, I'm going to check it out. 3615 code Père Noël. Deadly Games. It's on Shudder. You can check it out there. Both of you guys on cue. All right. Hey, what else? Anything else people saying about this? Oh, I think Marcus is responding to the idea that if you know what's going to happen, maybe you don't watch it. I think that's what this is. He says, I watched your videos. I'm assuming he talks to you, talking to you, John.
He's talking about John, yes.
The ones where you talk about something, you do the porn shoot opening, you bitch about it, and say some other nerd shit. Yeah, you're right, Marcus. No reason to watch those Gen X
seen one, seen them all.
Marcus also says Straw Dogs with Dustin Hoffman. I guess he does some traps there. All right, I got to check that one out too.
Okay.
Mark says Nancy set booby traps for Freddy in Nightmare on the Elm Street. That's right, Mark. You're absolutely right. All right, that you know what? Look, without having to dig into any of those other ones, I know that 100% that.
Awesome.
It's a great answer and predates Home Alone.
Yeah.
Some of the other suggestions do, but I don't have a specific episode of Swiss Family Robinson or Looney Tunes. All right, hey, another 1980s news. As reported by The Independent, a family's attic comic book becomes a $9 million windfall. I read this story and I immediately said to my parents across breakfast when we were out to breakfast one day, you guys better start collecting shit and putting it in your attic. You're running out of time. Last Christmas, three brothers from Northern California remembered a box of comic books had been languishing in the attic of their family home. And after searching through their late mother's belongings, the trio found the treasure chest of sorts, a box filled with vintage comics. Among them, 5 early issues of Action Comics. But most surprising of all was the holy grail of collectors, the first edition of a 1939 Superman #1. Holy cow. I don't think you even have to be a comic book collector to know what that cover looks like and to understand that that is a supremely valuable book.
Yeah.
The comic book was issued after National Allied Publications changed its name to Detective Comics, which is now known as DC. The trio, who are now in their 50s and 60s, said the comics belonged to their mother and uncle, who bought them between the Great Depression and World War II.
To your point, I think if you lined up like 3 or 4 covers and said, which one you think is the first Superman, I think most people go, oh, this one.
On November 20th, just a couple of weeks ago, the comic, which Heritage Auctions called the, quote, highest graded unrestored copy Heritage has ever offered, end quote, sold it at auction for $9.12 million, making it the most expensive comic ever sold. Mm-hmm. The sale shattered the previous record set last year for an Action Comics #1, a 1938 copy that first introduced the world to Superman, which sold for $6 million. It was in such great condition that the grading service gave it a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
Can you imagine? This thing's been in there for decades, in an attic, in a box. Oh,
they don't have squirrels, apparently.
Yeah.
Did not get turned into a mouse bed.
Oh my gosh, I know. Right. Stuff in my, routinely stuff in my garage that happens. And I leave them, because it's winter. I'm like, go ahead, have at it, guys.
Yes.
Per Heritage Auctions Vice President Lon Allen, quote, Superman #1 is a milestone in pop culture history, and this copy is not only in unprecedented condition, but it has a movie-worthy story behind it, end quote. Allen also added that the Northern California conditions of the home in which the old comic was found made it ideal for preserving it. So if you had it somewhere else, more humid, maybe John had it in Florida in a garage or something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder who bought it. Yep. We don't know that.
Oh, here, I have it here. Steve Worthington bought it, Kat. What do you do with that information now?
I don't know. I'm just curious.
Feel better?
It's like, who the F is this for, right?
Kat, I'm sorry. See, you should have just said that.
Who the f is this for?
Steve Worthington.
Yes,
is the answer.
All right, I made up Steve Worthington. Maybe it was Nick Cage. Maybe he's got his taxes squared away, and now you can afford.
I have on many occasions told my daughter that when I die, don't just rent a dumpster. Mm-hmm. You need to go through the crap that I have carefully. Mm-hmm. Plenty of it's garbage and not worth anything, but plenty of it's not. So
I thought we talked about this before, John, that your wife has the house with booby traps of sort, kerosene, C4, etc., and you have some sort of monitor hooked up to there. When you die, she leaves the house and it's just destroyed. All your shit,
like a dead man switch.
Yeah, exactly. No. And she walks away. Fire behind her.
She has said on the networking and computer front. Yeah. That if I die, she's just going to light it all on fire. She's definitely said that.
Oh, right. That's what I
remember. Like her figure it out, get the passwords.
Nope. Burn it.
You know those big industrial shredders that like to shred truck tires? Just start tossing all my computers and routers into it. Grind. Oh. Makes a fine mulch that she puts out front around the flower pots. And
George is trying to get her to do it on a live for content and still make every last nickel he can.
Bit by bit
of his shredded crap.
She tosses George into it too.
That's content.
This got me thinking about some other times that I had sort of vaguely recalled when valuable stuff was found in attics and other unlikely places. And let me do 2 stories from the 1980s. In 1985, the Ladd Gilman House, the headquarters for the Society of Cincinnati in New Hampshire, which the organization purchased the building in 1902, they needed a security system. Yeah, they call the Society of Cincinnati, but they're located in New Hampshire. I'm sure the origin of whatever the name Cincinnati is may have Mayflower origins that touched New Hampshire long before they touched Ohio, as I'm guessing.
All right, I'm just going to let it go.
I need to look up what the Society of Cincinnati does. Why do they exist?
Let it go. You don't need this information. Steve Worthington.
Yeah, Steve Worthington.
You don't need that info.
Regarding this information, Kat.
Who the f is this for?
Really, who needs to know that? Nobody.
I often wonder about things that are useless.
All right, so this society...
Actually, the Cincinnati Society was founded on the premise...
All right, so this society owned this very old house from 1902, and they needed a security system back in 1985, so they hired a local electrician to install it. Well, this electrician needed access to the attic, which they provided, and either, depending on which story you believe, the electrician's assistant discovered an apparently rare document in a stack of old newspapers that served as insulation, or it was rediscovered by a member of the society during an inventory of the items stored in the attic when the electrician asked for access.
Okay.
Regardless, upon further inspection, it was revealed to be a rare Dunlap broadside, one of the 500 official copies made of the Declaration of Independence in 1776.
Whoa.
Cool.
Oh, man.
So after the Declaration was signed in 1776, they needed to spread it, right? Which was treasonous at the time, because they were calling for, overthrowing the government. But they had to spread this word secretly, certainly. So the drafters needed it reproduced. After the votes were tallied and the Declaration was adopted by the signers there, printer John Dunlap was tasked with typesetting and producing approximately 200 copies of the text. His version involved no swirls or calligraphy. What we're familiar
No
with.
squirrels?
No squirrels. No squirrels. No swirls. No calligraphy.
Nuts.
Oh, I don't know if you guys ever have the feeling like you can tell ahead of time something's going to go poorly or well.
Which way is this going?
I only feel that way Wednesday nights.
Yeah. I don't have that. That's why I keep showing up. If I had that, I don't.
It's a gene I don't possess, and therefore I don't see it coming. And yet we get you every time.
So Dunlap prints a simplified looking and also simple version of the Declaration in that it even only is only printed on one side. Before all the ink was fully dry, John Hancock, president of the Congress, sent these copies to the colonial legislatures, the committees of safety, and military leaders. Now, regardless of who discovered it in 1902, in this 1902 house in New Hampshire, the state of New Hampshire sued the Society of Cincinnati over ownership. And in 1990, the two came to an agreement. The society relinquished any rights it had to the antique document, but would have the right to display it in a new museum. All right, now look, that's crazy, right?
Yes.
But this one may hit
crazy.
harder or closer to home. John, I'm thinking of you specifically here. Because in 1989, as fantastical as that last story I told you, in 1989, a Philadelphia financial analyst bought an old painting, a depiction of a country scene, for $4 at a flea market in Adamstown, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Mostly because he wanted the frame.
Oh.
Sure.
But he liked this item even more once he found that the painting housed a rare and valuable document. As he was investigating a tear in the canvas, the frame fell apart in his hands. And when he attempted to detach it from the painting, he found a vintage document hidden between the canvas and its wood backing. And upon further inspection, it too was revealed to be a rare Dunlap broadside. This one, according to the New York Times, the ink on it was still wet when it was printed because they could tell that it had been...
I was going to say, wait, what?
I know. Wait, how's it still wet?
The ink is still wet?
Yes.
Yes.
This feels like a forgery. Yes.
You found this just the other day.
Yep.
This is the worst episode of Pawn Stars. They don't have to call anybody.
You can tell it's real.
Yeah. So it seems that this thing had been rushed so quickly from the printers that it was wet. It got folded and then was because you could see an inverse of.
That's cool.
On the other side.
That's cool. So you say that. So what are these? The broadsides? They're like a simplified version. You mean in calligraphic style, not like. We the people just says us in order to form no
..
are pissed. Yeah. .. Life, liberty, and stuff.
The look of it was simplified. It was typeset, apparently. And it all appeared on one side as well. Yeah. On June 4th, 1991, the priceless document was priced when it was sold at Sotheby's for $2.42. How would you say these numbers? 2.42. Everything sounds wrong. $1 million. So, that's a good 30 years ago, but it's a third of the value of a Superman comic, and I love that for America.
Well, that's the whole point. Look, the Declaration of Independence was set out so that people could make a killing on comic books in their pursuit of happiness. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
so good on them.
Yeah.
Attic dwellers.
The document was put up for sale again in June of 2000, fetching an 8.14. An $8 million. Let's round it up. An $8 million bid from television producer Norman Lear. It then became the centerpiece of his Independence Road Trip, which took it on a 3.5-year tour across the country.
There's nothing good up in my attic. There might be some good things in the basement.
Yeah, the problem is everything in my attic was shit I put in my attic. So I know there's nothing incredible up there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's good stuff, but it's not, it's not a Superman comic book. It's crap that I've acquired in my lifetime.
Yes.
I remember when I was a kid, and I'll say 1979, my family, we moved into a new house in our city there. And it was an old home, but I don't know how long ago it had been built, maybe the 60s or so. That we had lived in a small apartment prior to that, so there wasn't much to investigate, But we had this house that had closets built in it, and so the exploring happened. And so this is your room, and I opened the closets, and I remember inside there were 2 what we would call lightsabers, although I think they said on them laser swords, but they were essentially flashlights with the plastic tube attached to them, that would glow. Yes. Oh my God. I felt like I had found the Declaration of Independence. It was like the most exciting thing I could find that made me feel welcome in this home. Like this is where I'm, supposed to be.
And it was just an oops left behind. It wasn't a surprise waiting for you, like that your parents planted there. Or
my parents wouldn't do that. No. Are you kidding me? No.
I don't know.
No. Put in extra effort to bring Will joy?
No.
Have you met Will's parents? Come on.
There you go. Yeah, you have met the cat.
Only one of them.
Hi, Mom.
Yes. Hi, Mom.
This reminds me of my new favorite comic book, one of great personal value to me, and also in 1980s news. Per Screen Rant, DC's most frustrating romance finally gets a major update. So for over 64 years, this is from Screen Rant, one of our sources. For over 64 years, DC has teased a romance between Supergirl and Brainiac 5. This ship, the kids call ship when you put 2 characters together that aren't in canon together, but you imagine them together. This ship remains one of DC's most inventive dynamics, given that Kara is Superman's cousin, and Brainiac 5. I know a Kara in real life. That's why Kara is Superman's cousin, and Brainiac 5 descends from Superman's mortal enemy.
Kara and Brainiac 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, finally.
Yes.
Who the burp is this for?
Who the is this for?
Thank you.
Now, fans have been disappointed that DC's never fully committed to this pairing. The latest release from DC, however, has them now hopeful that the publisher may be finally open to exploring it further. Because last week, DC released its holiday special, DC's I Saw Ma Hunkle Kissing Santa Claus #1. And while it features various stories from various creators, it includes Holiday Woes, a Supergirl-centric tale that finds her spirits low until a blind date with a handsome stranger lifts them. It has art from Anthony Marquez and was written by my kid, Ash Palillo.
Yes!
And this cover actually is a variant. I think there's 5 variants, and this one is actually a cover that embodies her story that she wrote there.
That's all cool. But it makes me feel like, though, sometimes I go to nerd conventions and I get there and I go, uh-oh, I'm the wrong kind of nerd for this convention.
It's like too inside. You mean like too esoteric?
Yeah, I'm like, is that okay? That looks like a marshmallow with eyes. These things look like Japanimation. I don't know what that is. I don't recognize any of those characters. Oh, look, you made oven mitts out of whoever that is. I don't recognize any of it.
Yeah.
And I walk around like, what? Brainiac 5? You could have made that up for this show, and I would have believed that.
And there's like a long line of people waiting to buy these things. You're like, what
I
is
know.
this? Yeah.
But how do you know? Love what you love. It just, you missed me. I don't get it.
When I was out in LA, in September, I guess it was exactly that experience. And thank goodness my kid was with me who wrote this comic, because they were able to tell me, all right, that's this, that, like Labubu. Okay. Do you guys know about Labubus?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I heard about Labubus.
It's huge. Every booth was selling Labubus. I had no idea what these were. They're
and
like
then
little,
there's the knockoff Labubus. That
Lafufus or something. Yeah,
and they're choking hazards.
Yeah, because they're smaller and they have smaller accessories. Yeah, I know. Yeah, John, I agree with you. But yeah, I wasn't aware of this myself either. But according to Mark in the comments, he says Brainiac 5 is from the future. He's part of the Legion of Superheroes. He's seen as a good guy. All right, so there you go. So it's not as unusual that this pairing would happen.
Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah. And it's common knowledge that like a thing with Kara.
Yeah. I mean, look, Screen Rant wrote an
I'm not
article
judging.
about
I just
it.
feel so out of, like, usually we talk about pop culture. I'm like, oh yeah, man. Even if I haven't seen it, I know all about it. But I'm like,
can connect.
What? I feel so disconnected from all that.
Yeah. Look, I wouldn't know about it except for my kid, and it's
Okay. All right. I feel a little better. All right.
And I wouldn't know about it except for you. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
I've been reading comic books for a long time. There's been years where I go without and then I jump back in and I'm like, what? And I have to start all over again. And, she now works at DC. So I try to use that to my advantage to get caught up. And even still, I'm like, what is this? There's just so much lore, but it's, it's fun. Mm-hmm. And for folks that are really into it, this is apparently one of the things that they've been rooting for years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can expect it's like somebody that's super deep in Star Wars or Star Trek too. Like I know minutia about Spock that nobody gives a crap about and don't want to hear me tell them about it certainly either. And I'm sure if there's that thing you're into, once you know everything there is to know, you start digging into the lore. And I get that's why you know all that stuff. So
Yep.
Ted says, I love my Uncle Red Tornado. And also Kara and Brainiac 5 is so 1970s. That's an old pairing that I don't hate at all.
Wait, did you say Hunkle again? I thought that was a mispronunciation of uncle. You were being funny. Is there someone called Hunkle?
I don't know. John, I really wish I could say I know.
But now you've said it twice, so it must be a thing.
The title is Ma
Ted
Hunkle.
said it.
The title is Ma Hunkle. I don't know if that's a character or that's
I thought
one
you were
shots.
like, my uncle did such and such. I thought you were making a voice.
Maybe it's one shots they do every
and
year.
Now
the Ma
Hunkle
Hunkles. I don't know. Ted will tell us.
I'm so depressed. I don't know anything.
I'm sorry. Let's move on.
Talk about
we need
some Star Trek. We need some Star Trek.
So anyway, so go get my kid's book. All right, there you go.
Revive
That's
them
wonderful. Hooray.
Go get my kid's book. All right,
I'll even buy a copy if we'll move on.
Yeah, please do that, John. Do that. I'll get you an autograph too. Hey, it was my absolute pleasure to be a guest on Chatting Tracks, one of my favorite new podcasts with host Robbie Burgess. Robbie and I chatted about a number of things, including 80s music and 80s movies and much, much more. What made that decade so important? But week after week, Robbie chats about music history, current music trends, talks with up-and-coming artists, and much, much more. You should 100% check out Chatting Tracks. It's available on the very podcast platform you're listening to us on right now. All right, we're moving on. All right, John's head's going to explode. All right, here we go. All right, as reported by Ultimate Classic Rock, Cheap Tricks at Budokan.
I've heard of Cheap Trick. I like the story. Okay.
Okay.
Cheap Tricks at Budokan was not.
I've heard of that too. Oh, we're in the zone now.
So I'm going to play you two clips.
Okay.
Please
Both,
do.
I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, are some of the most well-known pieces of audio from an album, and neither are music. All right, here's the first one.
This next one is the first song on our new album, which just came out this week. It's called Surrender.
Wow, no, huh? I'm the only guy. Huh?
And this next song
Here's the other one.
is called I Want You to Want Me.
All right, see, I knew Kat knew that one.
Yep.
Oh, right, yeah, I figured you'd know at least that one of them.
Yes. Yeah, the first one, that didn't.
Yeah, well, both of them come from Cheap Trick's 1978 iconic live album at Budokan. The band's fourth album, it marked their critical and commercial breakthrough. First formed in 1967 under a different name, the band became Cheap Trick in 1973 after attending a Slade concert, where bassist Tom Peterson commented that Slade used, quote, every cheap trick in the book, end quote, as part of their act. It wasn't until 1978, however, that the band had a single chart, Surrender, the lead track from the band's third studio album, Heaven Tonight, which peaked at number 62 on the Billboard 100. With their popularity rising in Japan, Japanese record executives with Epic Records, which was then a subsidiary of CBS Records, pitched the idea of a live concert in their country. Apparently, there may be a number of these, but I know there's other at Budokans, including Bob Dylan. I think Bob Dylan was the first, and then Cheap Trick was the second. I don't know if there's any after that. I stopped paying attention. So this was a thing, certainly at the time. And so on April 28th and 30th in 1978, the band performed to an audience of 12,000 incessantly screaming Japanese fans at the Nippon Budokan. which you could hear it in that slight introduction, but the whole time they're just,
screaming.
Although the album was intended for release only in Japan, strong airplay of the promotional album From Tokyo to You led to the U.S. release of At Budokan in February of 1979. This is when they finally made it. So after toiling away for, nearly a decade, recording this out, there's some kind of magic that happens with this particular album that they break through. And it's bolstered by the success of the songs, including the songs that I just mentioned, like I Want You to Want Me, which reached number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. And you might remember this as well from there. The band's cover of Fats Domino's Ain't That a Shame, which was a big hit for them.
I remember that.
That charted at 35.
Yep.
It's their best-selling LP. It peaked at number 4 on the Billboard 200, ranked number 13 on the Billboard's top pop albums of 1979, and went triple platinum by 1986.
Ooh.
I think the fact that it was a live album, again, talking about what alchemy was happening that finally had them break through, because, their music hadn't changed or evolved all that much, I don't believe. But the energy of the live performance at Budokan, it had to be what it was. And I think that's evidenced by the popularity of I Want You to Want Me, because that track didn't chart until the Budokan album, even though a studio version of it appeared a couple of years earlier on the band's second album in color. So the song alone wasn't good enough. It was something else. And the song itself, you're familiar with I do have a clip of the studio version of it. It's a long intro. They're just
Do
lacking.
I even know the studio version? Wow.
You may never have heard it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
I mean, it sounds.
Well, I feel like I have. Oh, yeah.
It's a great tune, a great track, but I don't know. It's a long intro already. I think you really had to go into the I Want You to Want Me, which doesn't come in until like 35 seconds into the song. Okay, still not happening yet.
Still not there.
Maybe that was part of it. Seriously, because my recollection of the live one is, like 2 measures in and they start singing.
Well, there's definitely energy in a live performance that you don't get. And we've talked about live theater and what a difference that makes for even seeing celebrities that but seeing them live, doing their craft in real time, not through a lens and after an editor and after color grading, just seeing that guy there doing his thing. And I can imagine, I'm sure music might be that way to the nth degree, because music is so primal. It's so alive. It's so constant. It's a driving force in and of itself. And they make that live. So if that track had anything, the live version is going to be the one that would make it take off. So I could see why maybe Kat, you never even heard the studio one, because who's playing that?
Did they have an album out before this live album? I'm sorry, I didn't follow if that was the case. Okay. So they did have an album out. This wasn't like their first album.
This is their 4th album.
The 4th album.
Right.
Wow.
Because he said Want You to Want Me was on in color before this.
Right.
A couple years before, right? So, and just nobody cared. Not enough people cared, we'll say, right? Yeah. Well, look, okay, if you got 4 albums, you're not doing bad.
Right.
Right? You're just not Cheap Damn Trick yet. You're not.
I got to say, though, this solves, this doesn't solve a mystery. Again, I think I'm just an idiot when I was younger. Not that I've improved all that much, but I was always fascinated with I always thought I Want You to Want Me was off of At Budokan, which is why I couldn't understand how the audience was already singing along.
No.
They were doing that.
Right. Because they had heard it.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are apparently Japan, they were huge.
Okay.
And so they would have known it already from the second album.
Yes.
Yeah. And who's showing up at a Cheap Trick concert but people who have listened to Cheap Trick albums? So of course they would know. That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Presumably.
Or they won tickets in a contest. I don't know.
12,000 people. I got to get rid of these fucking tickets, man. You won too. You also won.
Cheap who?
Yeah. Anyway, I told you all that to tell you this, that per Ultimate Classic Rock, we just learned there's a bit of false marketing in connection with the record. During a recent appearance on the Magnificent Others with Billy Corgan podcast, album producer Jack Douglas made a surprising confession. Douglas and mixing engineer Jay Massino were tasked with assembling the live album way back when. And when the men received the raw audio, they were shocked by what they heard. Per Douglas, quote, "They sent me the tapes, and Jay and we listened to everything. Budokan sounded terrible.
Oh, no.
It's just so poorly recorded. I don't know. Like the mics were off. They were pointed the wrong direction. There was a little bit of drums, very little, not much, no bass drum." This would drive me crazy. I've been, I used to do a lot of audio stuff in the theater, and oh my God. And during the pandemic, I did some stuff for some folks, for some friends.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Poor audio quality. John, too. I mean, right? Poor audio quality. Can you imagine? We lament about podcasts that don't, use good mics, et cetera, like that.
Right.
You recorded a whole 2 days of concerts and it sounds like shit because someone didn't turn the mics on.
So what Will would do is he would just claim, I don't know, the SD card just stopped working.
Oh yeah.
I got corrupted.
John's best jokes got lost.
Goodness. Good gracious. I'll just re-record it with someone else who I want to hear talk more.
Yeah. Trust John. His jokes are really funny. You don't need to hear them. Thankfully for Cheap Trick,
reputation alone.
The band's performance in Osaka, which they had also recorded on tour, was much better. Engineer Messina went to work making sure the audio included on the live album sounded as strong as possible, and the rest, as I told you just moments ago, is history. For Douglas, the connection to the project didn't end there. Decades later, Rick Nielsen, the colorful guitarist for the band, contacted him as Cheap Trick was prepping their 30th anniversary CD and DVD reissue. Douglas explained how the small deception became fact, even among the band. Quote, Rick calls me up. He goes, we have the film from Budokan. We're going to do a 5-1 mix. I want you guys to mix a 5-1 version of it. And I said, you have the film from Budokan? He goes, yeah, just use like the same kind of mix maybe. I said, but the mix is Osaka, remember? Mm-hmm. And sure enough, Nielsen had forgotten where the album's audio really came from.
So why didn't they call it at Osaka?
Yes. That's what I was going to ask, Kat. Is it like Madison Square Garden? Like Budokan is like the place, that's the venue everyone wants to do an album from?
It's because, as I mentioned earlier, the record label was doing an At Budokan series. Started with Bob Dylan.
Okay.
Cheap Trick was number 2. Marcus in the comments tells us Chic had a At Budokan album.
And Clapton, he pointed out.
Okay,
yep.
Clapton as well. Okay.
So it's now At Budokan, asterisk.
Well, nobody knew until this Ultimate Classic Rock, I guess until the podcast interview, and then Ultimate Classic Rock blasted it out. I checked the Wikipedia page when this article came out, and it still had it, all Budokan.
Oh.
And then today, as of today, they added now a footnote that says it's really recorded at Osaka.
Wow.
Crow Friend says Dwight Yoakam did a cover of I Want You to Want Me. That's worth listening to. All right, that'd be cool.
It is. I've heard that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mark says, same thing with Chris's Alive album really made the band, although it's not really live. Huh. All right. Now, Mark, this is something I wanted to look into. Are you suggesting the band says it's live and it sounds live, but they did that with some audio trickery and it's really a studio album? Or you're just saying that calling them alive, they say it's alive, but it has they weren't trying to suggest it's live. I want to know. Because I was wondering if anybody's ever faked it, and I couldn't find any examples of bands faking it, because then you could record it in the most ideal conditions for the audio quality, and then add crowd sounds. And
Can you imagine, like Johnny Cash? Folsom Prison actually recorded at Joliet.
I think he didn't even record it in a prison. Yeah,
and it was in the lobby. It wasn't in front of any inmates. That was all.
I recorded it at a Bible camp. Whatever though. Yeah.
No, interesting. That's like an example. I think of Johnny Cash live from Folsom Prison is just like, just peak live for me. And it's so imperfect and it's such a mess, and that's okay. Like that's part of the charm of it, but it's not because it sounded terrible. It was just because it was not a well orchestrated performance. So I could see why you don't want to put out one that sounds bad, and you don't want to go up, do over. Can we everybody back to Budokan, please? Right. So you had to do something.
Back on the bus. I didn't turn the mics on. Back on the bus, everybody. Marcus says most of the soundtrack for Purple Rain was actually from an 83 live performance. Huh. And on that album, Prince played all the instruments and also was in the crowd.
He's cheering. He has lots of different costumes. He's everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, I got to do one more. Move it to another track. Okay, ready? Woo! Mark says it's been said that Kiss went into the studio and recorded vocals, added crowd screams, etc. The only thing that wasn't redone are the drums. Interesting. All right, cool. I was wondering about that because that's what I would have done, you know?
Yeah. And then it's kind of just ADR, isn't it? It's like, we have the original. We're just looping some stuff or over it to fix little glitches. And
oh gosh, yes.
Is it the ship of Theseus? Like at what point is it no longer that live performance?
Yeah.
How many things can I change and it's still that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I've had to resort to some of that trickery on the show even for something. You know?
You have to put in that squeaking curtain rope sometimes.
Curtain.
Yeah, after the fact, I didn't have it ready or something. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Hey, another 1980s news per Variety and other places. Working Girl invests in 80s nostalgia with retro-sounding Cyndi Lauper songs. Good news. If you're out there in Southern California, there's still time to see the latest musical adaptation of an 80s property. Now through December 14th, the Broadway aspiring stage production of Working Girl is running at the La Jolla Playhouse. Based on the 1988 film of the same name, the Working Girl musical also follows Tess McGill, a Staten Island secretary with big dreams and also really big hair now that I think about it, right? Did you guys see that movie? She has like iconic.
And big shoulder pads.
Oh, everything's
It's a long
big. You're right.
time ago, but it's got to be big.
Harrison Ford's huge. When he was at the height of his career, certainly.
Yeah.
And when her scheming boss, Catherine Parker, steals one of Tess's ideas, she decides to take matters into her own hands. And when her boss is unexpectedly out of town, Tess seizes the chance to prove herself, making a bold business move that could change her life forever. If you recall the film, it was directed by Mike Nichols. It starred Melanie Griffith, Sigourney Weaver, and Harrison Ford, whom I mentioned, and many other folks. It was a critical and commercial success, earning $103 million off of a meager $28 million budget.
Nice.
What's I think cool about this adaptation is that it features an original score by 80s royalty Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
It's also got a book from award-winning playwright Teresa Rebeck, and direction by the Tony Award-winning Christopher Ashley. I'm sure those guys are great. I don't know who they are. Cyndi Lauper, though. I love Cyndi Lauper.
There we go.
Yes.
There's the topic.
So there you go. and in fact, I learned when researching this story that Melanie Griffith and Cyndi Lauper were friends during the filming of this movie. And Griffith would call Cyndi Lauper so that she could learn the New York accent for her character, who was, a New Yorker. Lauper's got that iconic,
Oh, yeah.
accent. Yeah.
Something I couldn't quite divine from this article, and I read it twice to try to find it and couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Are these the songs from Working Girl by Cyndi Lauper, or these new songs by Cyndi Lauper for this stage production, or some of each?
It's new songs.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
New
what
songs.
I thought.
I thought, but then I'm like, really? That's like a lot of work by a pretty big, pop star.
Yeah.
For something that isn't even on Broadway yet. It's just, you got to want to do it, I guess. So good on them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if you're familiar, have you heard of the musical Kinky Boots?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, she did that too, right?
Yeah,
so
she did that.
Some to work on it, yeah.
Yeah. So she seems to be up for that sort of stuff. And hey, we're all the, better for it. But regarding the music, John, though, that you pointed out, Peter DeBrugge of Variety, in his review, wrote that the music is not unlike Lauper's Top 40 fare, which I think is good. It's not, it's set in the 80s. It's, but has the, quote, tricky task of sounding simultaneously hip by contemporary standards and retro, like a recently unearthed pop album originally recorded back in the 80s, then lost to time, end quote. And he seems to suggest that she pulls it off, which that's the best kind of music. That
sounds great to me, yeah.
I find new artists that, do 80s style stuff, and to me, it's like it may as well have been recorded then. It's like, goes right on my, liked list.
Oh, yeah.
Liked songs list on Spotify. Like Chris Camiso. I love that guy's music.
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to get the soundtrack. Like, I don't know if I need to see a Working Girl stage production.
Okay.
But I might need the soundtrack.
Yeah, I know.
But you like all theater, John. You said that you're game for live theater.
Yes. Look, if it's near, I'll go see it. I'm just saying.
All right.
If I don't need to get it on a plane, I might be satisfied by. Right. It's not Back to the Future on stage. Like, I want to go see that.
You should. Yeah.
The Lauper connection might be the thing that I'm most interested in seeing in the first place. So maybe that will sate my desire to learn more about this without having to get on a plane.
Yeah, John, I don't know. I don't think this is for us necessarily.
Who the F is this for?
Oh my God, Kat. You're not even into it either?
No, I didn't say I wasn't, but you said,
But then you know it's for you
us.
then. That's who it's for.
Did you?
Is this for?
If you know the answer, you don't ask the question.
No, I was saying because you. Okay, so I didn't know if you meant us as a collective.
That's called rhetorical.
Or what?
No.
And so it just popped into my head. I would
John,
like to see
this
this.
is not for us, John.
Okay, thank you for
Cats,
specifying.
Can we listen to the music at least?
No, I don't have any. I don't have any of it.
No.
What?
I would like to see this, and I will go with your wife to see it.
Yeah, look.
There you go.
Like the movie.
You're off the hook, Will.
And hopefully, look, for all the artists involved, hopefully it makes it to Broadway. Although, we have Kat and I have a friend who produces Broadway shows. And just talking to her recently, and holy cow, it is so expensive to get a play off the ground and keep it running. And it's becoming a business that I don't think people in the future are going to just do anymore. And that's a bad thing. I mean, maybe it's good in the sense that more local folks that'll be where we get our content from like this. And so we'll see more inventive things because they can't license, Mike Nichols film. But that means, Broadway's going to become smaller and smaller. So fingers crossed these guys make it, because that would just be more, a lot of artists gainfully employed, but also something else that will, another opportunity for folks to see some entertainment. I say it's not for us just because of the subject matter, because like many films in the 1980s, gratefully, I suppose, it was challenging gender roles. And this one is about a woman trying to make it in a man's world. And I'm not a woman. I'm not a misogynist either, but I don't know that I connect with the protagonist as much as, say, my wife does, which is fine. I don't think it's a bad movie. It's a great movie. The musical seems to hew close to the story of the film. It fleshes things out a little bit more. So Sigourney Weaver's character, for example, which is kind of smaller in the film, is a more pivotal and more obvious role. Plays a more obvious role in the film, in a stage adaptation of it. And it seems to be getting mixed reviews. Let's see, DeBruge from Variety, as I mentioned, he says that the stars of the adaptation aren't the characters. Instead, quote, it's the 80s themselves. Poofy bangs and copious hairspray, nylon stockings and shoulder pads, boomboxes the size of briefcases, and synthesizer-driven pop music. The LA Times calls it a, quote, crude knockoff of 80s music and style and the original movie, end quote.
Mixed indeed.
It would be interesting to see a play today. Like, what is the experience of seeing a play today that's set in the 1980s? Okay, that's one thing. We've seen that, like Back to the Future. It's Back to the Future set in the 80s? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
They didn't move it forward.
Part of it.
80s. Okay. But that tackles issues like gender roles in the workplace that are no longer issues, but I guess we're seated. You'd be seeing in 2025 where these are still issues. I don't know.
Right.
I'd argue they're probably
It's
still
weird. Maybe that's what it is. More of a mirror of what's happening and less like a nostalgia for something that was a terrible time for women. I don't know.
True. Again, it's probably not for us, but if someone enjoys it, please make it.
Yeah. Hey, look,
love what you love. We don't have to love it.
If it inspires a bunch of young women and girls to, aspire to be more, I'm all for that. I've got a lot of females in my family.
Right on.
Book scribe Rebeck, I'm going to say, said she found writing about the power suited Reagan era surprisingly fun. Quote, though it's politically awful, the guys in the show are almost celebratory in their unwokeness. It's pretty amusing, frankly, to wallow in that. That's the way.
You see a lot of that now.
Yeah. I didn't like those guys then. I wouldn't like them now. Lauper didn't sound as tickled, however, when she was interviewed, saying, quote, unfortunately, the story is just as relevant for women as it was when it came out in 1988. In fact, the rollback of Roe v. Wade times may even be since the rollback of Roe v. Wade, times may even be worse for women. There are still glass ceilings. Women still struggle to be treated equally, especially in the workplace.
Sure.
Yep.
That's the fact, Jack.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Look, I'm into it. Let's get it going. I'm all for it.
Going.
Yeah. But again, a working girl cast album with the music on it.
Yeah.
I'd listen to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And if I had an opportunity to see it, I definitely would see it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're saying, I love seeing live theater. I love musicals.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thing. If it's close, I'm not going to make a special trip.
Yeah.
That's what, Kat was like, you said I do love live theater.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a special trip for this one. Okay.
Yeah. I don't even need the Cyndi Lauper connection, but wow, that just makes it like, all right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kimberly says, and Alec Baldwin's in it. Yeah. There's a bunch of people in it. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah.
Marcus,
Wait, in the film?
Yeah,
in the film, you mean?
in the film, yeah.
In the film.
It's Alec Baldwin doing in this.
He could be.
production.
He's done Broadway. I saw him in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof in the 90s, I think it was.
Oh.
And Marcus says the Purple Rain musical did a bunch of updating, including not figuring out what decade they wanted to be in. All right, so Marcus and Kat saw the Purple Rain musical that's being developed, again, potentially for Broadway.
We did, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Do you know what he means?
Yeah, I think he should explain that better, because I think Marcus has far more analytical thoughts about it. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I told
But
him.
it's just Prince, so it's not that important, really, when it comes down to it.
Marcus was like, I hope it's good. And I was like, Kat's going to say it was good no matter what, right? And he's like, oh, no, I know.
It's like, you know me.
So you took kind of a bad movie, Purple Rain, and turned it into, and I think you're going to try to make some changes when you make it a stage production, because
yes.
as much as I'm being tongue in cheek, of course, about Prince, he's a legendary artist and
yeah.
everything, but that movie's not a great movie.
No, not a great
Objectively.
filmmaker. Yeah.
I
So
agree, it's not.
you're gonna make changes when you bring it to the stage to try to fix stuff, I would expect, because your nostalgia about it, I'm guessing, is not because how bad it is. It's about the experience of it. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a camp thing. I don't know. So
Well, not to make this about Purple Rain, but I think
too late.
the live experience. Well, it came up, but the experience of being in this theater with all these people dressed in purple and the paisley, and everyone was there, like really excited about it, and we were like the audience for the performances, right? Like, so they're doing the musical, and in the movie there's performances, right? That you watch, like they're performing at First Avenue. But it felt like we were at a concert.
Oh, I see. Yes.
And
okay.
the performers were so enthusiastic, like so earnest, that it would have been really hard for me to not have fun and to not enjoy what they were doing. So now I know other people have other thoughts about it.
I see.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
There's probably no Cyndi Lauper involved in that. So,
Oh, Marcus says they updated it and found a way to make it worse. I guess that's what I guess if you're not clear in your vision, as you started implying with this, not knowing what decade they're in, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, hey, back to speaking about gender roles.
Thank goodness.
Marcus says it wasn't set in the 80s?
No, not
Why
really.
would you do? He said it wasn't clear what decade it was set in. All right,
No,
look,
it
I'm
really
all for
wasn't.
timeless type things. I love films where you don't know exactly. Look, speaking about Prince, the Batman film, Tim Burton's Batman film, for which he did the soundtrack, you don't know when it's set. And they did a great job of having
That's
modern
true.
stuff and retro stuff and, vintage stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want that with a music that's iconically associated with, 1984.
And they mixed in some of his newer, his later
Oh,
songs.
no.
Right.
No.
Like that was a questionable choice. So it became about Prince's music. A lot of the time it was about Prince's music rather than
Wow.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I never thought I would say this. Can we get back to talk about gender roles?
Yeah. This is the second time John doesn't want to talk about whatever the news is. All right, that's fine. Or the tangent, I guess, All right, yeah, let's do that.
But first, a little chi-chi.
Speaking of gender roles, as I mentioned, and as reported by Screen Rant, Masters of the Universe star teases a more modern take on He-Man. Oh my gosh, I'm tossing out so many jokes that I know
Who man?
could get me. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Kat. You saved me. Who man? Brilliant.
Oh man.
I love
Oh,
you.
no,
I love you.
wait.
That's amazing. Okay, fantastic. Nicholas Galitzine teased a more modern approach to the 80s cartoon hero in the new Masters of the Universe movie, the upcoming live-action adaptation of the story first popularized while we were eating cereal or some other types of snack. It came on in the afternoon for me. It was like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
I was usually
After school.
I was having my after-school brownie and a carton of iced tea.
Magic Brownie?
Oh,
He had great parents.
Yeah.
they wouldn't give him
This will put
lightsabers,
him to
but
sleep.
Little Billy showed up out doing his homework again. Yeah, he was asleep by 4. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. We couldn't wake him. The story first popularized by the Mattel toy line once again chronicles the story of the fuck did I do here? Adaptation of the story first popularized by the Mattel toy line.
who the beep?
Every cat does it. What did I say a couple weeks ago? When she gets a thing, John, I am going to fit this in every time. I got one laugh.
Oh, like you've never crowbarred things.
No, I coined that. I agree. With that. I'm trying to be better. Let's just start all over again. Hey, we'll go back to another.
The whole thing. We're going to do the whole thing all over again.
I'm going to tell you guys about Balloon Fest. All right, look. Here we go. The upcoming live action adaptation of the story first popularized by the Mattel toy line is once again chronicling the story of the titular alien prince, albeit with a familiar twist. This is from the official synopsis. I don't know if we went over this official synopsis before. I think if we had, I would remember.
Was there something there was something Tron Ares adjacent, like they're coming to the real world, or that was the other one. That was the pre-existing one where they come to the real world in most of it, right? Is that what it was? No.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, you're right.
Oh.
Here's the official synopsis. Masters of the Universe introduces a 10-year-old Prince Adam who crashed to Earth in a spaceship and was separated from his magical power sword, the only link to his home on Eternia. So apparently he crashes to Earth, not knowing he's from another planet, growing up not knowing he has superpowers or whatever. He has to track down the sword 2 decades later, and then he's whisked back across space to defend his home planet against the evil forces of Skeletor. But to defeat such a powerful villain, Prince Adam will first need to uncover the mysteries of his past and become He-Man. There you go. It sounds awful, like Superman to me.
Yeah. Little Kal-El working in there, it seems like. Yeah.
Galatzine is the 4th actor to be cast as the main hero in this film, which dates way back to 2016. I want to say they first announced it. It's being directed by Travis Knight, who directed Bumblebee, which is one of the better Transformers films.
That was good. I enjoyed that. Mm-hmm.
And the cast is star-studded. Features dozens of people, including his Tron Ares star Jared Leto, who's playing Skeletor.
So you won't be able to see him, hopefully.
Well, he plays supposedly the Hatbox Ghost in Haunted Mansion. I don't think he does.
I think you could see him in that, though. I think it was mostly CGI modeled after him, but you could kind of see his smirk in the inside of that character.
Oh.
Hey, guys, we need this. You guys see the musical producers? Yeah, we need this film to fucking tank. All right, we need a tax write-off, and we need one on the double. We're trying to get this being made since 2016. We've cast 4 He-Man actors. Any ideas how we could sink this ship before it even leaves the fucking dock?
You're not going to believe this.
Yeah?
I get Jared Leto on speed dial.
You're kidding me?
He's pound 3 right after my mother and the deli.
And he picks right up as if he's got nothing else going on. And he answers like this. He's like, hello?
Thank God. Who is it? Yes. I'm in. All
right. I don't know why they cast that guy. Whatever. I did like Tron Ares. That's fine. Yep. Anyway, you got other folks, Idris Elba, Kristen Wiig, Alison Brie, a bunch of other folks. While this retelling of He-Man's story bears some resemblance, as I mentioned, to Superman's origins, it also has some connection to the older incarnations of the hero, which I think John may have been alluding to, because although Adam was raised on Eternia, and the 1980s cartoon is set there, that Filmation series established that his mother was from Earth. Known as Queen Marlena of Eternia, Adam's mother was a human astronaut named Marlena Glenn. Oh, Glenn, like John Glenn. That's pretty cool. Right. In Tila's quest, it was revealed she crash-landed on Eternia, eventually marrying King Randor, and then had his children, He-Man and She-Ra. And, which I thought you were suggesting, John, of course, there's a precedent for his He-Man's Earthbound antics, because the awful 1987 live-action film starring Dolph Lundgren
spent a lot of time on current Earth, didn't it? Well, contemporary Earth.
95% of the film, I think, he's magically transported via a portal key through a dimension door to Colby, California.
I missed that one too,
John.
So I'll take your word for it.
No one's dragging you to a theater to watch that.
I don't know if I need to watch that.
So I was a little bit old for He-Man. I've often said He-Man was my best friend's little brother's show.
Okay, yeah.
He was like 4 years younger than us, maybe. It's not like we were, much, much older. We were just into some other things by then. Yeah. He was watching Scooby-Doo and He-Man. Anyway, I want to mention, am I the only one, because I'm a bit older, every time, in the back of my head, every time I see the word He-Man, hear the word He-Man, as people talk about Masters of the Universe, I think of Alfalfa.
What?
Just for a moment.
What?
Because in Little Rascals, he had the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I watched way more Little Rascals than I did He-Man. And so people say He-Man, and I go, but I don't say anything because they're like, wow, you're much older than I thought you were if you know about the Little Rascals He-Man Woman Haters Club. So I just let it go. I have much more connection to that than I do the Masters of the Universe He-Man. So every time I see one of those toys, I go, I just think of Alfalfa, his little cow lick, and Spanky. Yeah. Anyway.
I love the Little Rascals. That's a good episode too.
See, I loved, I loved the Little Rascals. I didn't watch He-Man, but it was on. Like my brother was watching it, I guess. And so I was exposed to it, but I didn't. Yeah. It wasn't my thing.
And there you go. Speaking of gender roles, the He-Man Woman Haters Club. There's your connection. There you go. No girls allowed.
So the question is, have we evolved from that day and age?
Yes.
And then he had a crush on Darla, I guess. And that's when he was starting to break the rules of the club, right? Because she was a sweet little girl. Yeah.
And then we all had a crush on her.
Now, where's that stage production? I want to see that.
They all had a crush on Miss Crabtree at one point too, I think. Were they competing for her attention?
Probably, yeah.
She was kind of a smoke show.
Back to the gender role. Oh, yeah. Back to the gender roles. In an interview with Screen Rant, Galatzine spoke on how Knight, the director, and his team have approached the film. Quote, without spoiling too much, I think there's a modernity to him that is really interesting. I feel like who he is as a person is a handshake between what traditional masculinity and femininity are. And I think it's very exciting to be able to play that in such a huge studio movie. Obviously, the action and the set pieces are incredible, but there's a really human story in there as well. End quote. Now, it's been a while, but you remember when we did that episode all the movies Mattel was going to make after Barbie's success. But it's starting to come clear, right?
Yeah.
How they're maybe approaching these, because examining gender roles through the lens of one of their toys is familiar to them at this point.
What Barbie did.
Yes.
Yeah, 2023, Barbie was a huge success. And in that film, Barbie and Ken question male, female stereotypes to great success. This is a great thing. The audience loved it. And it sounds as if the He-Man film, it sounds as if the He-Man filmmakers are looking to recreate the success by focusing on social issues. I don't know if that's the formula for every film. I'm all about using art to reach people, and influence to sort of, expand their minds, but I don't know.
Now I'm thinking, for the Hot Wheels movie, some of the cars identify with being from Detroit, although they're imports.
Okay, yeah. Okay. And other cars are trying to get them exported.
Right. Ooh. Yeah. The question, what does it mean to be a car? Really?
Yes. I mean,
and
commentary.
What's the hierarchy? Trucks, cars.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Where do buses fit in?
The dump trucks fit in. Yeah.
Again, talking about gender roles, it seems like this is how does this character named He-Man even survived as long as this? Past depictions of him have played him. Once he got set in the 1980s as the sort of idealized male as depicted by Arnold Schwarzenegger so many times, starting with Pumping Iron, really. He-Man was solidified as that character. And I think in every incarnation since, he still looks like that. How he behaves, I don't know. I haven't kept up with the new animation.
But in the animated series, though he was yoked, he was a very gentle character.
That's true. You're right.
Mm-hmm. It was kind of like, look, I'm going to let my beefcake do my talking. I'll swing a sword every once in a while, but I think just being here is going to make you, scamper away and tuck your tail between your legs and run back to Skeletor, which is largely what happened. Because for kids, there was not a whole bunch of bloodshed in He-Man. There wasn't actual conflict. There was conflict, but not combat. So he really didn't use his brawn all that much. It was more like his royal lineage and his presence was enough. And he was very kind to everyone. With a name like He-Man, that you were just alluding to,
right,
you kind of think he's going to come in and kick ass, but it's not really his MO.
But he didn't need to.
That's it. Yeah.
For a guy who's never watched it, John, you know more about it than I do. And I did watch it regularly. But you're right. You're hitting on this idea that, as Prince Adam especially, he was very genteel and much like this Superman character that we're just talking about. So maybe that's a good analogy for him, even that that's one of the best things about Superman is that he's so human and empathetic.
And saving squirrels and
saving and swirls.
For my attic.
Yeah.
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 All right. So maybe we already have one that's, a handshake between masculine and feminine. And this isn't going to diverge so much from the source material, other than this switch up they did with Earth and Eternia, which could be okay. It could be okay. Marcus seems concerned that they may have done away with the fur booty shorts.
That's a very real concern.
Well,
Marcus, that's what the internet's for. I guarantee you can find that somewhere. You can find a masculine man wearing those for you.
I'll send you a link.
Yeah.
Don't click it. Don't click on it.
Kat is a voice of experience.
Oh no!
What's this?
Oh,
a
no.
link from John? I'm going to call him and ask him what it is first.
Virus.
She wishes it was a virus.
Masters of the Universe is set for release on June 5th, 2026.
Okay.
Brandon says no matter what they do, it's got to be better than that piece of shit from the late 80s. There needs to be an appearance by She-Ra. Yeah.
I want to learn more about She-Ra because this all just.
There's a whole
went
Netflix within the last 5 years animated series about her.
Well, there was a new He-Man too, wasn't that?
Yeah. Kevin Smith.
The Clerks guy, Kevin Smith. Right. Yeah, he did something. I didn't see any of that. I heard mixed reviews on it.
There were actually two, and I don't remember which is which or what they did. One was like Revelations, or maybe it was part one and part two. It was like Revelations and Revolutions. And my buddy Yuri did the voice for He-Man in those too. Marcus says, "You're so old." I think that's for you.
Yes.
Ted says, "The He-Man woman haters."
Poor Cat.
That's not nice, Marcus. She went to Flipper Way with you. The He-Man woman haters club was the best.
Yes. There you go.
And Brandon says he'd run away from anyone wearing a giant green cat in armor. I know, right? All right. Hey, that was the show. Gender roles and all. It wasn't all gender roles.
He-Man.
No, but we got all the genders to thank here. That was not a good.
Yeah, Kat, that joke. I want to ask you something seriously. That joke you just tried to make.
Who the f- is this for?
You got all the genders?
I don't know. We have so many people to thank.
You should classify them in genders for us, just arbitrarily.
Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, last week I screwed up. It was Thanksgiving. We should have thanked everybody.
Well, is there ever a bad
Let's thank them
time to
now.
thank?
Yeah.
There's never
Can
a
we
bad
do that
time to
now?
thank. Tony Great, Brendan Greer, Craig Rustin, Jillian Perry, John Henderson, Anonymous, Matt
You
Marino.
know who you are.
Yes.
You know what's funny is that person, why don't they want their name associated with our show?
Have you heard
want
the
it.
show?
They want, well, but they wanted to stay on. If they paid us double what they're paying us now, we'll stop doing it. I mean, if that's your goal.
Their budget just won't. They're trying. Maybe other people will chip in and help.
Yeah.
No, I forget where I left off. Matt Marino, Matt Blocker, Marcus Taylor, Nate Wallace, RC from the NYC, Karen Flieger, and Rick Parker.
Yeah. All those
Thank
names.
you.
It's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Look, there's plenty of room for more. There's unlimited. There's no, I should say there's not plenty of room. We've got room for 5 more. You need to act now, right now.
And then,
Please.
that's it.
It's limited.
Yes, we're cutting it off.
Limited time
Kat
only.
can only read a dozen names or whatever that amount was. And then we got to pay her more. Then we're going to have to raise more money. It's this endless loop.
You're going to pay me?
But look, we're super grateful for those. Double.
That's right, double.
2 times 0. We're super grateful for the folks that support this show with their love, with their money. Their money, cash, money actually pays the bills. But their love warms our hearts and keeps us recording week after week. Please join them.
And their money warms our wallets and keeps us recording.
Yes, keeps my ass warm when I put it back there. 5 seats. Kat, can we open up 5 seats? Just 5 more people to be a supporter. Please,
Okay,
Kat,
but
5.
it's 24 hours. We have 24 hours.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Look,
Limited time only.
thank you, Kat. Act now. Go to patreon.com/1980s now. Give any amount. $1 and up is we'd be grateful for.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. Hey, that's it. Look, we're launching on the holiday season. Hopefully there's more holiday hijinks to come. When we talk to you next time on 1980s Now.
Until next time.
Ma Hunkle.
Ted didn't say what it was. It was Red Tornado, and he wore an upside down pot on his head or something.
He's just making stuff up now.